be put forth. So I am going to turn it over now and let the developers for this area kind of explain what's going on. And then I am going to ask that you take questions and input from the community so that you can get their actual concerns and hear what's going on in this. I'm going to ask when questions start that you do one at a time. You don't have to repeat the same thing. I have already stressed to the developer that there are some big concerns about warehouses. So if the only comment is we don't want warehouses, we've got that one. Some other things that you want to put forth, though, I do think you need to address that and share that. And I'm going to ask my developer if he will make sure that he is looking in the chat, because a lot of different questions come up in the chat where people may not want to ask them aloud. So with that, I am going to mute myself and turn it over and let you all start the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, council member. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. My name's Michael Garrigan. I'm a civil engineer and a land planner with Dale and Associates. Mr. Bill Walia is the property owner and approached us probably about 4 months ago to do some investigation on this piece of property. Just so everybody's on the same page, it's addressed 12610 Old Hickory, but it includes that piece, which is right around 5 acres, as well as the neighboring piece to the southeast, which is just addressed 0 Old Hickory Boulevard. But it also is about 5 acres. So whenever we look at a piece of property, obviously first we look at what is the property zoned for. Then the next step is to look at what's called the community character, which is also known as land use. And some people call it Nashville Next. It's a big land use study that the planning department did for the entire county to set placeholders for properties to say, you know, whether or not, whatever zoning aside, in the future, this land is planned as X. Some examples of that are commercial corridors, mixed use corridors, neighborhood maintenance, which means status quo, neighborhood evolving, which means maybe a different type of residential, but residential only. In this case, this property, as well as a bulk of the land that surrounds it, is dedicated as district industrial. So that is the only land use that is allowed in this entire area through any rezoning of this property. So as of right now, it's zoned agricultural, which is basically just a placeholder for it allows a house on 2 acres, and that's it. And most of the agricultural land you see around town is just a placeholder for future growth and looking at the land use policy to apply that. So in this case, the only thing this property could ever be rezoned to is an industrial use or an office park type of deal. District industrial has some other allowable uses on a smaller scale, but primarily it's a business park type use, which that is what my client builds. He has a few here in town that he's built and owns and leases, and they're smaller scale office park type developments. And by that, I mean, there's large space. You could call it warehouse. You could call it flex space. And then there's the office component. Much less, we understand that there was a history on this. I want to say FedEx, I may be incorrect, or somebody with a high traffic volume attempted to rezone this. May have been last year, may have been 2020, I'm not sure. But the community pushed back pretty hard. So when we approached it, we wanted to look at it to get Mr. Walia, you know, obviously what he would like to build on the property, but at the same time to try to make it as community friendly as possible. By that, I mean preserving green spaces, green infrastructure practices for stormwater to promote infiltration, reduce stormwater runoff, kind of large landscape buffers, minimal access points, and uh, screening of any truck loading areas, which is what our plan proposes to do. You can see on the plan by the numbers that say FFE equals, that's the floor elevations that we would be proposing. We're trying to work with the land so that we can minimize the grading necessary. We've also looked at the grading in a way that it's more of a fill situation than a cut situation, so that blasting would not be necessary to develop this property. Any rock excavation that would be necessary would probably just be the bioretention areas, which is a rain garden, that's a stormwater thing. And that would be accomplished by hoe ramming, not by mass blasting. So all in all, the development footprint is fairly small compared to today's development, especially for more of an office park type use. We're certainly not trying to go wall to wall with impervious surfaces. We are providing quite a bit of green space, quite a bit of landscaping, the trees. Any trees that are removed will be replanted tenfold. And with that, we are cognizant that the word warehouse is not a desirable word. What we're proposing is more of a business park. And once again, it's the only thing that complies with the land use policy of this area, which is district industrial. I'm sure we'll get into more of the meat and potatoes. One other thing I'll throw out is that there would be a traffic study associated with this that will require significant improvements along Old Hickory Boulevard. Not exactly sure. We're very early on in the process at this point, but there will be widening of the road, there will be sidewalks, there will be turn lanes, etc. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Bill and let him tell you a little bit about himself and his businesses, and then we'll just open it up to the chat. You're on mute, Bill.
One second. Okay, everybody can hear me now? Thank you. First of all, I want to say thank you, Michael, and thank you, Rosie and Lee Internet and all my community members. I am part of the community as well. I want to give you guys a little background about myself. I moved here in Laverne, in Antioch area in 1984, right across the Bentry Apartments, right across the Kroger building on Bell Road. And I was one of the first residents. Me and my wife made Tennessee, Middle Tennessee as our home. And that's where I started. And I started with a construction equipment business company, and I've been in Laverne since 1984. And I moved here from Texas. And in Texas, you find a lot of buildings. And as you see, the Nashville market never had ready to go buildings. I waited about 10 years to make a business building for myself. And I finally found a piece of land in 1535 Old Hickory Boulevard. And we started that park. And that's where I started my business up there first. And it's a family business. We're still in business. And from there, I had the opportunity to buy the next two parcels surrounding my office building. And I saw it as an opportunity to invest in the community where I belong. And that was the basis of that. And if you see on the buildings that we have tried to show you, the three buildings, they're not huge, they're not massive. They represent the business in the community. These people do business in there. Like, for example, our largest building is 25,000 square foot. The smallest building is 12,000 square foot. We try to maintain the green space, and we try to maintain a park atmosphere. And one of the tenants in our building over there makes car chargers. Everybody owns cars in America, and we all need battery chargers. They are the ones that are housed there. The smallest building, 12,000 square foot, has got AT&T and DirecTV in it. Most of you watch televisions and most of you have AT&T and Comcast. When you need their service, you call that location, and from that location, the service technician is dispatched. The third tenant that we have that just took over one of our leases at AFS Leasing, those are the buildings, those are the people that take care of the wet basements, sinking homes, and stuff like that. So our goal has to be proactive to the community, bring to the businesses to the community that live and serve in that area. We're not FedEx, we're not Amazon, we're just a family-owned small business. Me and my wife, we own the LLC company, and we have shown you the type of product that we do. And I think Miss Rosie has uploaded the pictures on that virtual meeting. That building business park was started in 2004, and it was completed in 2016. And the pictures that we put on there were about a week ago, and you can see how we maintain them and how we take care of them. And also, if I may ask, the businesses that we bring to the community are the ones that live and work there every day. They are your fellow human beings. And our intention is there is a need for those type of businesses in the area, because every place you look is a 200,000 million square foot warehouse. That's not us. We're family-owned business, and we want to bring the family atmosphere to your area. And they are going to create quality jobs. And we're also going to generate a lot of tax money for you in the form of property taxes, F&E taxes. We buy insurances for our businesses. And these are high-paying jobs. These are not your warehouse jobs, $10, $15 an hour. I called my tenants and asked, what is the lowest wage job you had? They said the lowest wage job we have is $40, $50, $60,000. And these AT&T technicians are making $80,000 to $100,000 a year. What I want to say is respectfully, we want to bring the businesses that work in this area, that live in your community, we're part of your community. We want to help you grow the community with the good buildings, and we want to be a good, friendly neighbor to you guys. And we will take good care of all of you guys. That's how we are, and that's what our plan and our vision is. Thank you.
Okay, it's Michael with Dell Associates again. Seeing some people joining from another meeting, so wanted to catch them up. So the property, and again, this is Michael with Dell Associates. I'm the civil engineer on the project. Mr. Walia, who just finished speaking, he is the property owner. The properties are the 10 acres located at 12610 Old Hickory Boulevard. The property is currently zoned AR2A or agricultural, and it is in a fairly significantly large pocket within Nashville Next Plan of district industrial. Our proposal is to rezone the property to an SP, something similar to the rendering that we've submitted for a small scale business park for uses typical or similar to what Mr. Walia just described. The plan does preserve quite a bit of open space. It would have some park space. It would have ample landscaping. Like I said before, if some of you were on here earlier and I'm repeating myself, I'm just trying to catch up the others. But any trees that are removed will be replanted tenfold. The stream along the north property line will be preserved along with its stream buffer. Any stormwater that's generated by this site will be mitigated by what the stormwater department calls green infrastructure practices, GIPs, which are pervious pavement, bioretention, or rain gardens, things of that nature, so that not only the flow rate of water that's leaving the site will match existing, but the volume will. Groundwater recharge, infiltration, things of that nature will be a high focus of this to alleviate. Most of the time with new development, you'll see actual runoff issues improved, not just mitigated, but improved by new development through the new stormwater management volume 5 manual of promoting infiltration, groundwater recharge. And what was the other thing I was going to point out? Yeah, so I guess that's about it in a synopsis. Once again, the land use policy does call for basically only industrial and office uses. This would be more geared towards an office use with flex space. It wouldn't be a big FedEx hub or anything of that nature. So I will continue to follow the questions. Okay, I see one. Peak traffic times. One of the things I did mention before is, we're pretty early on in the process, so there haven't been any traffic studies or anything of that nature done, but they will be required and they will be completed and submitted with our submittal package. And I can guarantee they will have some pretty significant improvements to the Old Hickory, or to this section of Old Hickory Boulevard, road widening, turn lanes, curbs, gutters, sidewalks, storm drainage, things of that nature. The exact outline of that would have to be, for a future meeting, but
Yeah.
obviously at this point, I'm sorry.
Sorry, Michael, didn't mean to interrupt you there. This is Bill again. If I can share with you the traffic generated from my other projects, the business parks that we have. So each of our warehouses have no more than 4 or 6 loading docks. And the UPS and the FedEx people, they will come and drop their stuff like about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. And they will have pickups at about 2 to 3:30, 4 o'clock. After 4 o'clock, you're not going to have any truck traffic or any automobile traffic there, because most of these businesses work from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. And there is hardly going to be any traffic on the weekends at all, because the type of the client, the base that we use is a manufacturing service industry. It's not a logistic where you got 200 trucks coming in and out of the day. You probably may have 20 cars and maybe 6 tractor trailers in the morning and 6 tractor trailers in the evening outside of each building. And I promise you, that would be a very little traffic at all on those things. The 18-wheeler traffic, the question Larry asked, is the same tractor trailer, that 18-wheeler that you have on the road that you see every day, that occupy the road along with the automobiles.
So let me ask you this, and I am going to apologize again for those who came on late. I already let people know I was at another legislative function, and that's why you see it look like I'm someplace with some music in the background, and I'll try to speak and then let it go. I'm going to ask now, Mr. Walia, that you maybe talk a little bit about yourself again, so that people know you are from this area and you live in this area and what you're doing. And then, do you all have anything to present to show? Because you talked about the parks that would be there and how the greenery would be around in your area. Do you have any drawing? I know this is the start of it, and that you wanted to hear comments before you made any big changes or put anything together. But do you have any drawings or anything to show people how it would look from the outside of what you were proposing?
Okay, thank you. To answer Larry's question really quickly, how to avoid turning left on Old Hickory Boulevard, we can put a turning lane to the building where the truck trailer traffic can only get out on the right side and not make a left at all. We can definitely put that, and we will take that into account. Michael, you want to address, Garrigan, do you want to address that the tree situation and the rendering on the drawings? I think like Michael Garrigan had said that they are completely controlled by the planning people, the tree people, and they tell you exactly per square foot, how many trees and what type of trees and the plants that you have to plant. And we will completely follow that plan that is by there. Sorry, Garrigan, you wanted to
Yeah,
say
I mean,
something?
I guess to answer Ms. Lee's question or request about, we do have the rendering as well as the example buildings that that Mr. Walia and I sent to Rosie. I don't know if those included as part of the flyers, or was that part of the public notification, or can that be put on the screen?
Which one do you want, the flyer or?
The rendering.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'll get that for you.
Yeah.
And while she's giving that, you may want to talk about the hours of the trucks come again. I saw a question about that. I know you just
Yeah.
said that, I forgot the time. So maybe talk about, you said something to 4, I'll let you answer. And how many buildings you propose to put there.
The truck traffic hours is probably going to be about between 8 and 10 in the morning, and perhaps in the afternoon between 2 and 4. And we are proposing no more than 2 or maximum 3 buildings. Our goal is to limit the buildings to 2 buildings only.
Yeah, so there's the rendering there. It shows the 2 buildings with the flex spaces being the larger rectangles and then the office spaces being in front. So what you see from the street appears to be an office building. There's also about a 50-foot landscape buffer on the eastern building, and then a 15-foot, and then the parking lot, and then the front of the western building. And then in the center would be the access for the 18-wheelers, tractor trailers, and that would be heavily screened. Details we can provide, screened from public view essentially. And we're wide, all the green space down on the southeastern side of the site, that some of that will be utilized for stormwater. Well, there'll be picnic tables, for picnic tables, walking trails, things of that nature for the employees as well as the public. And we're open to any input or requests or ideas of how to formalize it a little bit more.
So if I can also answer quick questions to Melissa. She said, how many people will work in each building? The averages, I would anticipate anywhere from 20 to 35 people in each building. And then Ms. Tawana has got a question on the area already floods. As a matter of fact, I think like Mr. Garrigan told us that we are going to be putting the detention ponds in there. And that is actually going to help you control the flooding on that side of the road, because the water will go in the detention pond first before it gets outside. And if anything else, it will improve your flooding situation on that side of the situation.
It will, and not only do we have to analyze our site these days with the stormwater department, but we have to look downstream. And if the downstream system, for instance, the box culvert that crosses under Old Hickory Boulevard at the downstream corner of our site, if it's undersized, it has to be upsized. A lot of what you see in development, frustrating for some developers, but it's how our county works. We have very low impact fees, very low tax rates, so that but public infrastructure is built by developers. And when you're in an area that has older infrastructure, whether it be stormwater, sewer, water, etc., no sidewalks, things of that nature, when someone wants to develop their property, the onus is put upon them to upgrade the infrastructure. So we will be building sidewalks, we will be improving, widening the road, We will be improving the stormwater in the area. That's just part of what comes along with the game.
Okay, to answer Larry's question that I am saying manufacturing and showing proposed office and logistics. So like if you were joined us in the beginning of the meeting, like Kerrigan said, it's office warehouse, or it can be a distribution center, or it can be a manufacturing thing. It's the analogy I would give you, Larry, is that anything that has 2 bedrooms, a room, a bathroom, and a kitchen is called a house. But we also call apartment as houses. We also call townhouses as houses, and we also call single family units as houses, but they're all called houses. So unfortunately, the term may be office warehouse or distribution or logistics, but what we're saying is that with our history and the background that we have, the tenant mix that we're going to bring it in there is not going to be anything like Amazon or FedEx that's going to have trucks and stuff like going. These people are going to actually have businesses that they're going to be running out of these buildings. And to Ms. Tawana's question, she says that developers don't put the infrastructures. Yes, ma'am, we will have to put the road turning roads, the walkaways, everything that's required by the metro course, the detention ponds. All of that is going to be done at our expense on our property. Gerrigan, if you can help pick it up from there.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I see a couple comments in here. There are impact fees. There are water and sewer capacity fees. They're somewhere in the range of $52,000 to $6,000 a residence that a developer pays. There are, I can promise you the developers build a lot more infrastructure than taxpayers do. And I am a taxpayer. And it frustrates me too when I don't have any infrastructure. I live in the Pennington Bend area, and absolutely everything in my area is substandard. And it's because there's not a lot that's new in that area. $50,000. What is that?
Let me ask
Sorry,
you,
I'm trying to follow.
Michael, let me ask you one thing before you go to that one. I think there was a comment from Tawana, but another one was getting lost. Since you are the owner, and this is going to be your business, Mr. And I always say your name wrong. I'm so sorry.
Dale and Associates.
Well, I'm talking about you.
Oh, okay.
Since you
Bill.
are the owner, and okay, I was calling you by your last name, but Bill. That's easy. I can make that one. Bill. So one of the questions had to do with not working on Sundays. So are you the person that could say that the office would not be open and trucks would not be running on Sundays?
Yes, ma'am. Because most businesses, if y'all can write down this address, 1535 Hall, go by there on Sunday morning and Sunday evening and see how much traffic and what is in there. Most of your businesses that we house there work Monday through Friday and maybe Saturday half a day. Sunday is a church day and a rest day. I don't know that, and none of my businesses, even I don't work on Sundays.
Thank you. And Michael, I'm sorry I interrupted your answering of another question. So if you would go ahead.
I didn't I'm trying to, I guess we were asked to follow the chat for questions.
Yeah. To Ms. Tawania's answer, it's 1535 Heil, Heil, Quaker, like your cereal, Boulevard. And to answer Larry's question about the improvements benefit us, not the community, Larry, the community does benefit for it because we do provide you taxes. We're going to be paying a lot of taxes on there. And we're going to try to take care of your runoff water right now, being an agricultural land. Right now, you got the streets flooding over there. We're going to be investing the money in the detention pond, and we'll be taking care of all of those things. So that will help you in investing in the community too. And then also, don't forget, the millions of dollars of investments we're going to put in your community to bring up the buildings, the newer buildings, and it will also eliminate the other stuff that's on there. It will help the community as well. Will provide you a tax base from here on. We're not asking for any tax breaks from the community or from the metro government or from anybody else. We're not Amazon. We don't get billions of dollars. We're working hard. We're hardworking people in your community, and we live there and we work there every day. We are the ones trying to improve our community and your community as well. This is all our community along with yours.
So Bill, talk about the area, because I know in this area where it's already zoned, you're not going to get restaurants and things. I saw that, I think, in the chat room.
Yeah.
But you are, Bill, you are the owner here, so you know what type of businesses are going to come here. So talk about how you can control what kind of businesses go there and what businesses are looking to go there. And if you already have something in mind, if you're going to do it or what, how do we know exactly what's going to go there?
So the businesses that we approach, there is a demand in the market for properties from 12,000 square foot to 25 to 30,000 square foot businesses. Those businesses are usually owned as family-owned businesses, or they're small to middle-class businesses that need to buildings, an office warehouse environment to run their products, manufacture their products, service their products, and ship it out. Those are the type of businesses we look for. And that is what our tenant base, if you look on Heil Quicker Business Park, we have AT&T, which is a cable service company. We have a car battery charger manufacturing company, which is Pro Chargings. And we have AFS business, which takes care of your wet basements and take care of your housing foundation problems. Those are the family-owned small to middle-class businesses that we look for in that area. And that's what will be housed in your area, in that area.
I'm not sure about that, about what I was reading, but there is, I mean, maybe you all know and you can answer something about the retention ponds, that particular question.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Take a look at
there'll
that
be
one, please.
bioretention. There'll be rain gardens, bioretention, pervious pavement. Detention ponds are not promoted very much at all in Davidson County anymore, and I doubt you'll see very many of them in the future.
What is that now zone, and what is there now? Are there trees there now? What is in that position right now?
It's a single family house in a vacant lot. I'd say tree wise, the vacant lot definitely isn't sparse, but it's not thick. And then the other 5 acres that the house sits on is pretty open.
So it's already zoned agricultural zone.
That's correct. It's AR2A.
So a quick answer on this unoccupied home. Marie, what I was having is I was having to deal with the issue there. I was called by the cops 2 times, and there were actually 2 thieves and trying to pick stuff from the house. And it was a safety issue. And there were homeless people going there in the middle of the night and sleeping. And I was concerned about the fire damage and not knowing the house was inhabitable at the time. So I approached the Metro Planning Department and the courts people, and they advised me to go ahead and take it down if it's not going to be used for any reason. So we got the permit and we cleared out that property from there to stop the unknown elements of people coming in there and creating unknown activities that could be a risk to all of us.
And to answer the question about being rezoned to anything, yeah. So AR2A is basically a placeholder in the zoning code for future rezonings, which should take place in line with the land use policy. And you know, Metro spent who knows how much money on the Nashville Next plans to lay out the entire county and set aside areas for neighborhood maintenance, areas for neighborhood evolving, areas for mixed use, all that. And this area, as well as quite a bit around it, is set aside for it's called district industrial. I don't, you know, the National Next Plan is not that old. I don't know how many of you were involved with it. But that is what the future growth of the area is called for in the Nashville Next Plan. So it really makes rezoning to anything but business park type a challenge, because you can't do residential in district industrial. You can't do restaurants in district. Well, you could do restaurants, but on a small scale restaurant as a what they call an accessory use. So if you had, you know, a larger development, you know, you could have convenience features associated with it. But
And so I'm sorry, you're wanting to rezone it to what? Commercial, not a specific.
SP,
give us some
specific plan.
You
Yeah,
want
this would-
specific plans.
That's correct.
Okay. Do we have the details on the specific plan, or can we get more detailed so we can restrict some of those things that we're not interested in having in our community?
Well, the concept is on the screen. I mean, that's as far as we're at this point. We're very early on in the process.
Okay, I think what we'd be looking for is some specifics written out in that SP so that whatever the concept is that you have on the screen that I can't quite read because it's too small, that we
Mhm.
have that type of restriction in place in the SP. We would be looking for that to be in writing.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you're saying, oh, well, it's not going to be open Sunday and there are only going to be trucks coming in the morning and leaving in the afternoon, that's all well and good, but that doesn't protect us 10 years down the road. Anything
Sure.
could be done with this property once the rezoning goes through. And that's what we're not ready just to rubber stamp something.
Absolutely. Oh, we fully understand that. And like I said, this is our first of hopefully many meetings. We understand that. And, you know, if, for instance, specific uses that aren't desirable, if I can get a list of those, we can put that in the SP. Times of operation, that could be in the SP.
So we are talking about 12610 Old Hickory Boulevard, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And, you know, looking at what is on the screen right now, what is the property immediately to the left where there are 3 squares or 3 buildings, apparently?
That is a single family home. Lionel Carmona.
Okay.
And then immediately left of it is looks like Fast Leasing Tennessee LLC.
Okay. All righty.
Then across the streets, just a miscellaneous of industrial, looks like warehouses uses.
So if I can also go back there 1 minute, Rosie, did we share with them the flyer too, the bill flyer too, with everybody?
I can share that with you.
If you would please share that with everybody and show it up there. I want to point out too, you asked what the type of businesses that are going in that area. If you look across the street, there is a company called WWW Linux Systems in there. This is a window manufacturing company that is moving from California across the street. And on the right of me towards the Old Hickory Boulevard, there's a building called VFR. And that company is moving from California and they do the lighting systems when you have concerts in Bridgestone area and Titan Stadium, they provide all the lightings and the stage lightings and those kind of stuff. So as you see, these are all, again, you got a window manufacturer, you got a lighting system manufacturing in there, and on the left side of me, there is a tree cutting service, which is also a very small family-owned business, and they've been there for a long time. I've been watching them for 10 years. Very nice people. I stop and see them, and I talk to them. They said they like the area. And that area there have got a tree cutting service over there that they take care of that stuff. And if you go further more towards the Murfreesboro Road, when that Old Hickory Boulevard ends in there, you see Xylem Pump. I mean, so you see a little bit of manufacturing, you see a distribution, you see a window manufacturing company, you see a lighting company. Those are the type of the businesses that we are going to be looking to complement the area over there. And I encourage each one of you to go by on Saturday, Sunday, and go by these properties and check for yourself how much traffic is there, what is there. You'll be very pleasantly surprised how quality businesses these are and how well these buildings are maintained, both at my business park over there on Halkwaker and also on this Old Hickory Boulevard. I encourage you guys to please go by there on Saturday, Sunday evening with your family when you're in and out of there. Take a look at it. Check it out for yourself. I think you'll be very pleasantly surprised.
Bill, are there a lot of residential housing on the side where you are wanting to go up?
There's one.
Was that house that had some problems that you were going to put down because whatever was happening in that, or is there another house?
No, I was experiencing theft, and like I told you, I walked in there one Saturday, and there were those two thieves. They were fighting over the stuff inside the house, and the cop said, "Would you like to pursue charges?" I said, "No, please dissipate them from the property," because there was illegal activity going on in that area. So to clean up that area up, we had to take the house down, and that's the reason I did it. Because I did not want to I was afraid that if I left the house there and somebody got in there in the nighttime and turned the heat on and did some illegal activity, that could become a fire hazard.
So I want to be very clear because I want people to, if they have comments about this. I know that there are other companies surrounding you in this area. It'll be like adding, what do you know about the previous plan? And they'll be adding industrial all around you. But the concern is that on where you are, it should be residential and they're industrial all around you. So talk to me about the area. What is everybody? I can't hear you. Oh, I'm sorry, you cannot hear me? Tawana, I'm sorry. I was telling them I was in another meeting. I haven't even gone home. I'm still downtown in Nashville. So I will try to talk louder. Talk a little bit about the area, what industry is all around you. That one house someone was concerned about, a residential area. What the other area is that looks all that looks like all around you, and if you are the owner, what that area is going to look like. This is disrespectful. Okay, I'm sorry. Melissa, why? I need to know specifically why.
I mean, we make the effort to be available and in a silent room for the meetings. And I'm sure there's a room somewhere that you could maybe go. It's just, we can't hear you. It's just, we just hear the background.
Okay, and I am so sorry, but my regular job is not a 9-to-5 job. So I'm actually taking time away from my regular job to hold this. So while you think it is disrespectful, I think it is a good thing that I am moving away from my regular job to do this, to have this all for you all. And
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you're saying it like you're doing us a favor. And you,
I'm
I'm
not gonna
sorry,
argue
you're
back
not.
and forth. I'm not gonna argue back and forth with you. So I'm gonna give it back to Bill. If you understood my questions, to let you go on with that.
So I wanted to, yes, I think, let me respond to Tuana real quick here, Melissa. She says that, did I knew about the previous plan or did I presented it previously to the community? No, ma'am, I did not. This is my first time in this meeting. And if I was listening to Councilwoman Miss Lee Antoinette, she's asking me that what type of the area would it be, if I understood it correctly? It will be a very business-friendly area. And yes, there are about 5 houses before you get on to the Murfreesboro Road. And one of the houses running the kale, the tree cutting service. The other houses got a automotive repair shop in there. And then there is church, and there's 2 more houses before you get on the Murfreesboro Road. And like Michael Garrigan said, you know, the long-term vision for the planning people is to have a district, industrial district in the master plan. So I am sure at some point, I have not talked to the other homeowners. I am not aware what their plans are, but like we see everything else, I am sure they're probably going to cash out at some point. Did I answer the question? Were you able to catch that?
Yes, and I know that I think what looking at the comments, what makes us a little bit different than the previous plan is, if I'm not mistaken, I haven't seen it. I've just heard that it was a much higher volume use than what we're proposing. Not a local developer like Mr. Walia, who's not only local to Nashville but to the Southeast region, who also owns other businesses in the area, and you know had more of a drive to make this a positive project and to maintain it as a positive project, and not just get in, get out, and move on. But yes, we certainly understand there's hurdles, no doubt about it.
And I understand that somebody has an interest that why don't we build houses over there? Well, the thing is that the amount of land that's available there is not conducive for me to build the houses there, and I'm not in the housing building project. Our focus and our investments are going towards building you nice business parks that generate a good positive tax flow and improve your area in that area. That is our focus.
And to further that,
It will be.
the Nashville Next plan for the area would have to be updated, because it currently does not permit residential in this district. I say district, in this land use.
I don't see a light in front of the property because there is already a light there at the Old Hickory Boulevard, and we are less than what, maybe 50 yards from there. I don't think the traffic will be a concern, and I don't think we foresee a light going in there. Do you, Michael Garrigan?
That it wouldn't be warranted through the traffic study. What would be warranted is, as I've stated, significant improvements to Old Hickory Boulevard itself, and potentially the intersection, the signalized intersection nearby. Crosswalks, turn lanes, things of that nature. It's usually what they look at.
So, Tuania, if I was, please take it in a good humor sense. It's like if you lease somebody your house and you tell them that you can't cook steaks in it, then they're going to be paying you high rent to do that, right? So the analogy I'm trying to make is, yes, I can restrict the traffics and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, if somebody's going to rent a building or own a building, or they're going to run their business out of there, I have to allow them the freedom to do that. I really can't choke them. Now, you're saying the other place had a tractor trailers. If I remember correctly, Mr. Billy told me that that place was thinking of putting 40 loading docks. And they were like FedEx or an Amazon site. We're not FedEx, we're not Amazon. We're a small middle family business with 4 to 6 loading docks in each building. So I think the traffic concern is kind of a little bit, maybe too much with the other property, but not with the plan that we are presenting it to you guys tonight.
I have my hand raised for a while.
Oh, I'm so
Matt.
sorry.
No,
I'm
that's
so sorry,
okay.
Melissa.
That's okay. I
I'm
just
reading
have,
the chat and trying to, sorry, go ahead.
no, I get it. And, you know, we, just so you understand our position, we, Twana and Larry and myself, we're part of a group called Friends of Southeast Nashville. And we represent hundreds of constituents here. And so we would love to talk to you. I think that Larry and
Yeah.
Twana could, you know, second that we have our standards and we like to talk before things go to planning, because just recently they say, oh, this is just for rezoning. It's not just rezoning. Once it goes to rezoning, then the you know, the whole deal starts and it has to go to council and such. So we would love to talk before we have to oppose something in council, because then it becomes a mess for everybody. So I think we really, like, I think Larry was saying, we need to sit down and talk about this with more information, with things of Twana has been commenting that we already had meetings. See, we come back over and over, and now this is the same location. And so we come back and then there's another person that wants to purchase the land. I'm not sure if you purchased it already or not, but that's my comment, that please keep that in mind.
Yes, may I propose something to Tawana, Larry, and Melissa? Can I personally arrange a tour of my existing business park along with Miss Lee Antoinette, and whoever wants to join, open to the whole community? Can I please arrange an outing for you one afternoon and have you walk through these places and kind of get a sense of feeling of what we're going to be there?
I think we would need to first, I think we need to email each other to see our availability.
Yeah.
We're many on the group, not just us three.
Sure.
So
Anybody.
Please put your email address on the chat so we can contact you.
I will do it right now.
Thank
And
you.
I don't, and excuse me, I don't know if, can you all hear me?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, great. I have touched something on my phone, so I can't see the pictures there, but I do see I'm speaking. There are about 3 more minutes. I will tell you, we always have more than one community meeting on this. So if you are sitting on this and you're like, well, this meeting is almost over, I haven't asked my questions, there will be other meetings to kind of talk about this. And if you have not had any questions yet, I'm going to ask you if you will go ahead and ask your question before we get done with this.
Did everybody get the email address? I put it up there. Melissa, were you able to get that? Thank you. What is the HED timeline? I'm sorry, I'm not good at abbreviation. I used
Estimated timeline.
huh?
Right now, there's not one. This is just the very, very beginning of the process.
Right.
We haven't submitted anything. We haven't drawn anything other than the concept.
And
I think the next step would be to have further discussions with the Friends of the Southeast and work from there and see where we get.
we want to come to the community, and I want to say Miss Lee Antoinette has been very proactive on that, and she has told me that I have to present myself to the community. And like I said before, if I would like to close it in a couple of minutes, I moved there in 1984 across the street from Kroger, rent-free apartments. I have a business running in Laverne, and we have developed the business parks. We want to be friendly neighbors. We will take care of the properties, and we want to make you guys happy. And at the same time, we want to stay within reason to provide a business climate to the family-owned businesses that will generate you a positive tax base from here on.
So I want to thank you all very much. There is about 1 minute left to go. I am sorry you cannot hear me. I am also sorry that some of you think that because I tried to do 2 meetings at one time, that was disrespectful. I will tell you that is not the meaning of it. What I was trying to do was to be able to do 2 things at one time because I knew you all needed to hear this. This is not the final meeting. There will be other meetings, and I am happy that Bill will be meeting with the community to talk to him about what's going on. And I will continue to bring things to you all. I will tell you, I got a lot of comments about pushing this through. We are not pushing anything through. When we bring stuff to you, it is to hear your input. And if it doesn't go, if it doesn't go, then it doesn't go on the council. Just putting something on planning does not mean things are being pushed through, which I have gotten quite a few comments on. But I do value my community involvement. I apologize again if you can't hear me that well, but whatever comes to me, I am going to bring it to you so you can see what's going on. I want to thank Bill and Michael so very much. Please don't put anything at planning until I don't put stuff on planning. They do that. I think I have said once before, I try to, and planning has told developers, have you talked to the council lady? And I will tell them to come to us. I don't put stuff on planning. They do that, and some will go ahead and do it anyway. So I try to tell my developers when they do come to me, let's work it through first. And I also try to tell them if we haven't had our community meetings where they come to me to defer stuff until I bring it to the council. So I'm sorry. So I bring it to the community. So I want you all to know that. So some of the misinformation that has been going around about us trying to push things through to tap into folks' emotions when they say that, when they see that, is not true. So I'm going to continue bringing things to you, and I hope that the developers that come to me will be open and listen to what you say and know that sometimes it does happen and sometimes it doesn't happen. But please look on the Facebook page so you can see when the other meetings are. I hope you feel that your time was not wasted in this, that you found some information, and we will continue to have meetings. So that's all I have. It's like 2 minutes after. It's gonna be a cold one. I do want everybody to be very careful. I am told that there's supposed to be ice warnings. So y'all be careful. Don't be running up and down the road fast and doing whatever you want to do. Be careful. I didn't, because I was in a meeting, didn't go through and say like hi to Billy and all the people that I see like I normally do, but I appreciate all of you being on here. I honestly do. All those that are here and give the input and look at things for what they are and not try to make them into something else. I really appreciate you all. Thank you so very much. And this will not be the last one on this. So you all have a very blessed afternoon, and you'll be hearing more. Thank you
Thanks,
all.
everybody.
Councilwoman Lee, it can't be a
Yes,
wasted
ma'am.
meeting when it closes out with "Come on, Eileen."
Dang, Tawada. All right, baby
Oh.
girl, you be careful. Thank you.
Well-
I appreciate y'all.
And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to present ourselves. And I want to say that you all have my email address. Please reach out to me with your questions. And in closing, we really appreciate it. And the bottom of my heart, I will say this in parting. I came to America because America is the greatest country in the world. And America is the land of doers. So let's make a positive impact in our community. And that's what me and my wife and my children, we truly believe in. We are the small family businesses and we are the backbones of America. And so are you all. God bless you all.
Thank you, Mr. Walia. You have a
What
great
a
evening.
great, yeah, that's a great way. Y'all all have a blessed evening and be careful out there.
Thanks,
And
everybody.
y'all that are supportive, I love you so much. And y'all be good. Y'all be safe.
You're the one
appreciate
has to be good. We hear your background. Call me,
That's just what
call
I'm
me if you
saying.
need call me if you need a ride.
I'm good, Tawada. I appreciate you, though. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Good night.